we're in there, and he's got this thing boned over. You know, we're in loincloths. I got this bloody thing I'm hanging on to, and we hear these voices. Well, little kids come walking through from the other side. I'm not kidding you. When they made the corner and got a load of us standing there, they screamed out, "Mom, Mom!" They run, beat feet.
Cavemen.
Yes, we were up there. We scared the tar out of them.
Where was that taken?
In Los Angeles, up above. It's in a park up there, county park.
Oh, that's too funny.
It's great.
Now, you know, a lot of the critics were down on funk, undeservedly so, but this brought Grand Funk from hype to hip.
Absolutely.
This album.
Yep, I believe so too. I appreciate that.
You know, my friend, the late Jimmy Miller, produced the original Gimme Shelter for the Rolling Stones. I thought this was one of the finest recreations of a song which didn't cop it, but added to it.
Yeah, thank you. And I like doing it live too, because I don't know, there's something about it. There's a spirit in this song, what it's saying, you know. And I think people want to unite for peace, and we want to unite for sanity, and we want to unite for truth above all else. And it's harder and harder as time goes on, as you well know, Joe, to find truth and to associate with truth. And so I think that's part of what makes, you know, the guys that I hang out with, my musicians, even my crew, we have relationships that are based on truth. There's no BS. We are all just people. We don't raise ourselves up above. And I think that's that thing, the denominator, and that's that spirit that men have cried out with, and not just the Grand Funk albums, but there's a lot of people who've reached out with it, and in spite of you know, what you're supposed to live up to as a rock and roll star, I think that is what's, you know, it caused cult followings of various bands, and Grand Funk was definitely not the least of them.
I'm going to touch upon a sensitive subject. Jimmy Miller, the late Stones producer, and I, maybe it's the greatest love-hate relationship in my life, because the man had a heroin problem, and it was well known. But he was a genius.
Bless his heart. Yeah, absolutely.
And he and his wife died within 2 years of each other.
Wow.
You know, they couldn't live without each other, 92 and 94.
God.
But they had some kind of synchronicity there because of the drug. But he was a brilliant man. And I know Terry Knight and you probably have as much acrimony as I had with Jimmy. Maybe more.
Maybe, yeah.
Because Jimmy was with me maybe 7 years or so, and probably spent more time with Terry.
Yes.
But
he was a genius.
He did a great job recording this album.
Well, he did, and you know, all of these, you look at the covers and the ideas, there are, yeah, the images there, and he was a master of hype, but there was just that part of him that wasn't honest, and I feel sorry for him, because I know that down beyond that part, there is a young man there whom God created. He's God's little boy, and he has some value and some character that he's not played to, but it's still there. It's in every man. You know, we just get cluttered up with this other BS that gets on us, and we prop that image up because we expect that that's what people want to see, you know. But we spend so much time and energy in the facade that people actually see that we lose track of who we really are. And I just have seen so many times in the music industry, so many examples of the kind of people I don't want to end up being like, because I see the examples. But then on the other hand, I've been able to speak to people on this level, on a human level, on, you know, this is soul that we set and communicate. This is truth that we're talking about here. And I think that Terry, you know, someday he might just snap out of it and give me a call and say, hey, you want to get together and have some coffee? You know, then we'll settle it.
But he hasn't called.
Not yet.
Do you think he's comfortable?
Financially, oh yeah, way comfortable, man. I mean, unless he just pissed it all away, I don't know. Could.
But that was one phase of your career, and then there were other producers, Jimmy Ienner.
Oh, Jimmy Ienner. What a guy. Ienner was a wonderful guy, you know, a brother, a real brother, a smart man, a funny man. He knew how to control, you know, the environment
where
everybody was getting along. If there was a little rub someplace, Jimmy would take the eraser and just get rid of it. You know, really? Yeah, and you know, that's the kind of people we've been blessed to be involved with throughout the years. guys that really took an interest in us. And I see today so many, it's just, you know, bean counters, bottom line people, and so many people that are out there trying to make it, and bands that want to have success, and they're so vulnerable to, you know, people that will take advantage of them. But in my day, and when Grand Funk was making it, we were involved with people that wanted to be there with us. They wanted to promote us because they liked us. They wanted to book us over here, these promoters, or the guys at Capitol wanted to take this record to the radio station because they liked us. They liked who we were. They liked what we had to say, you know. And now you got...
It wasn't just the gold vinyl.
Right.
they really... That was those are great records, though.
Yeah. Well, I think so, but I'm a little on the inside.
The public thought so too. I mean, Locomotion. How you can take one of the great '60s songs? I mean, who would think that Carole King and Jerry Goffin would come up with a dance that would can you say it outdid the Twist? It didn't go to #1 as many times, but it's a seminal record.
Absolutely, and I forget the other gal who had a #1 hit with it as well. The after Grand Funk.
Okay. Yeah.
I forget her name.
Bananarama. Did they? I should know these things. It's been a rough day.
Look it up.
Usually,
call Joe. Tell him who that was.
Really, I love Little Eva's version.
Oh, Little Eva's knocked me out.
Those drums.
Oh yeah, and her voice was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're in the room with a Todd Rundgren, a Jimmy Ienner, a Frank Zappa. You see these people and their magic, and they bring their magic to the table. And now here it is, years later, but you've absorbed some of that magic.
And Jimmy Iovine too.
Yes.
You know.
And Dick Wagner.
And Dick Wagner, yeah. I think if we let ourselves and allow ourselves, it's like when I went out with Ringo and the All-Stars. Mm-hmm. I had to learn each song. You know, I had never just sat down and studied a song, I mean, for years, you know, and there I was. I'm learning other people's, but it was a stretch. It was good for me musically, and it was good for the audience because it polished me up that much more. And I think, you know, if you can get rid of all the ego stuff and get down to where we really live, that these experiences and all the people that you mentioned as far as the producers have left a mark within me. Mm-hmm. And part of that comes out when I write. Part of that comes out when I sing.
Let's take a break for a moment. We'll be right back on Visual Radio with Mark Farner.